All right, sweet. Let's go ahead and start with just kind of introducing ourselves. We got a small group here, so let's kind of find out who you are and what maybe you have done or are doing with youth, either teaching or outside of that recreationally. So we'll start right here.
My name's Dan. I actually have a long history and career through the Boy Scouts of America. I am an Eagle Scout, and I spent 7 years doing a lot of different teaching and a lot of different management with the Scout camp up in Gilmanton.
Nice, cool.
I teach mostly private lessons, mostly adults, but some younger, so basically all ages.
Oh, nice. And you do that for a like a for-profit business, you?
Yeah.
Cool, nice. What do you do for work?
That's it.
I mean, outside, okay, good. Full-time?
Yeah.
Cheers. And the name?
Josh.
Josh. All right, and go back to the other Josh. What do you say your name and who you are, what you're doing with youth or background in that. We're just kind of feeling each other here.
My name is Josh, and I just do like personal disc golf lessons for kids and all that stuff.
Wonderful, and yep, and he's part of Team Thought Space as well.
Yeah.
He's not giving himself enough credit. He's actually a very proficient professional player.
I'm his wife, Michelle Seeley, but I teach middle school for 9 years in Maine, and so we'll start some programs through the school.
Love it. Let's see. Let's go right down the line.
I'm Sam. My family has people who work in schools. I don't work in schools, but I'm just intrigued by the program. I saw your booth.
Love it.
Interested to hear about your stuff.
Great. Thanks for coming.
My name's Maya. I'm here as well support. I'm just paralegal, and I don't really have anything to do with kids, but I'm here in just
Great. Thanks for being here.
Hey, I'm Flan. I'm just starting to become pro recently in December, working my way up the ladder. Kind of work with Brunswick High School around, renovate their course and make it better. Hopefully in the near future this summer.
Love that. He's pretty proficient with the Yeti AVR as well. I saw an ACE video from earlier.
My name's Edgar. I work IT at a local school district that has a 9-hole course. And I've been working with the local library to provide discs in their library of things.
Ooh.
So I'm just trying to find more resources to add disc golf within my community.
Nice. Thanks for being here. Perfect timing.
Oh, good.
Tell us who you are and what you're up to with kids and youth and disc golf.
Yeah, my name's Spencer Lins. I was just appointed as the NEFA grants coordinator. We hand out grants for course development, and in addition to that, we also hand out grants for educational benefit and benefit the youth. Boy Scouts, everything under the sun that's an educational benefit we're handing out grants for. And those grants are funded through local tournament scene, membership fees if you guys are interested in becoming members if you're not already. It all goes towards growing this community in a diverse way and in a large way.
Nice. And we're saying who we are and what we have to do with youth and education or interest.
My name is Mark Long Henry. I just started playing about 3 or 4 months ago, so not a whole lot.
Great, Mark, right on. Do you have any background with youth or you're just interested in kind of learning?
Interested and curious.
Fantastic. All right, well, good. Thanks for coming. All right, we'll go ahead and I'm going to play this real quick. My name is Jay Redding. I'm in the Disc Golf World Hall of Fame. I've been playing this great game since 1992. It was the first time I threw a piece of plastic at a piece of metal and then started doing that over and over again and counting it for score. But I was a full scholarship athlete, played football, blocked for Kurt Warner, Super Bowl Hall of Famer, at the University of Northern Iowa. And that's where I discovered disc golf. Really kind of a funny, cute story. Football house with 8 of us in there, and somebody for not playing football came over and was like, man, I found this incredible game in town. You guys got to check it out. Who has a Frisbee? A Frisbee? We all have a Frisbee. Come on, let's go check this out. Little did we know this course was put in 1978. It's now the 3rd oldest course left in America, Tourist Park in Cedar Falls. And we thought it was so hard to put the Frisbee into the target. We just like counted metal, no pole, but basket and above, we counted it. And man, we started loving to play it. In fact, we didn't know like how extensive the game was, and I think we made fun of some of the like, look, they need a whole bag of them, man. We just need one. We're cool. But graduated, physical education, K through 12, coaching, kinesiology minor. Went and started teaching, forgot all about that game. Then it was my wife and I started a Italian ice business. So we were doing that in the summer and then teaching all year round. And it was like an art fair or something like that. And we ran into one of those targets again. Like, remember that game? That was incredible. And we went to a kite shop, bought a single golf disc. And he was like, there's a tournament just down the river from you guys. We went down to Fort Madison in 1998. So that's how many years kind of later. Des won the women's with one disc. I got third. And it was like, where's the next tournament? Like, this is pretty cool. And so that was in 98. 99, we got our PDJ number. And it kind of took off from there. In 2001, Des was Female Pro Rookie of the Year, won her first Women's World Championship 2002. She got invited to the USDGC. I got invited to the USDGC as a state rep. And her fateful round. So at that time, I was teaching at an alternative high school. And I came in and as a phys ed background, and they only taught phys ed for 1 hour out of the day, plus a half hour for transportation. And I had to teach social studies during the day, even though that wasn't my background. But these kids, it didn't matter. The high school equivalency, or the high school credit was world geography. But most of these kids didn't even know where the local post office was. So I taught them, checkbook, post office, geography, things that they're really going to need. And I gave them, world geography high school credit, because they're going to use that a lot more than knowing where, Quebec actually is, perhaps, at this stage in their life. But what I did for phys ed, prior to me coming in there, they loaded the kids in the bus, and on a great day, they would play kickball. On a bad day, they'd play pickup basketball. And that's all they did. And literally, they just sat there and broke up fights, because they had, a lot of kids that were unfortunately labeled with behavioral disorders. And these are bright, smart kids. They just have a rough, lot in life at that moment. And they just wanted to remove them from the general school population. So they were good, bright kids. They just were a little rough on the edges. But they had them in the same groups with learning disability kids and mentally disabled kids. I mean, we had a lot of kids that probably, for better or worse, they just were breaking up fights and stopping kids from picking on each other. So disc golf, all right, there was a course in town. Des and I played a little bit, casually with that disc. And I was kind of like, I found a grant. I got a target. I got some discs. We bused the kids to the same complex that we were playing those other ones in, but they had these big, beautiful trees around. So I would create an object course and use the target to teach them how to putt. But we get them in their peer groups. Now, all of a sudden, and this is way outdated, but this is what was going on at this time. The Marilyn and Manson kids would be in a group, and the hardcore rappers, so it was wild, because they weren't fighting. They were laughing. They were talking smack, but amongst themselves. And they're in their peer groups, and they're having fun playing disc golf, and we're predominating them, and they didn't even realize, like, you guys just walked 2 miles. Like, what? And these are the kids that, like, you can't even whip them around the track to, get them to exercise and stuff. So it really was an amazing transformation in my mind of being a physical educator and a recreationalist and then an outdoor enthusiast. And like, here they all come together. So we were like, man, this is something here. And Des playing around with Harold Duvall, who was the CEO of Innova at the time, he still is, out at the U.S. Championship. It just so happened that, like, oh yeah, Des was a world champion. So like, wow, what's your story? And like, oh, you guys are teachers? Like, wow, okay, I see and meet you guys. You want to come and talk about maybe doing disc golf in schools at some point with like all of the heads? And that's where Edge all of a sudden was hatched. And so with Innova's great backing, we got off the ground and we formed the 501c3, and the rest is history. It's taken a long road. We used to go to these conferences and nobody would even have heard of disc golf. Frisbee golf? Golf? Yeah, but we don't really teach it. Frisbee? Yes, there's the magic tool. The Frisbee. The Frisbee is what unites all of us in physical education. It's pretty bizarre. Like, how is that? Like, I've come to learn that, like, the Frisbee is actually the #1 selling piece of sporting equipment of all time. What? You gotta be kidding me. Well, think about it. Not everybody has thrown a football. Not everybody's hit a golf ball. However, the Frisbee is in the national curriculum as part of manipulating objects. All right, part of the elementary rubric is, right, learning how to throw properly and throw a ball. But in order to kind of understand that, we start to, the football is a good example, or even better, the simple airfoil. Now, all of a sudden, all those principles are coming into play. And so Frisbee is integrated into everyone's national and state level physical education at the elementary level. So Des and I, traveling around the world for 20 plus years, we have never met anyone ever that has never thrown a Frisbee. So that's kind of like, wow, that's pretty heavy. So we started, we created a curriculum. We wanted to make it cross classrooms. So we brought math and science. That was super easy, right? Physics, just that alone. Yeah, come on in, have a seat. So I'm going to play this little reel we've got here that'll tell you a little bit more with some cool formatting, I guess. Let's see, hopefully I get some sound out of this. Oh, no?
Edge is a
Dang.
nationally recognized 501c3.
No one's gonna hear that, are they?
Organization whose entire
Can you put the
platform
microphone by?
Oh,
is to introduce the great lifetime activity to youth and kids everywhere.
Disc golf and kids they do go hand in hand because it's a lifetime activity. It's a sport all on its own, and when we grow the
it is.
sport
Hello.
itself
Nope.
as an activity, the sport itself becomes quite a bit bigger. Edge's biggest platform was
Here, we'll
one,
it's not that
give the
long. We'll
teachers
just
the
stop it
vehicle
here
to
real
have
quick.
everything that they need.
I love technical difficulties.
Is there captions as well?
Hello. Good question. There's a CC. Bing. Oh, thank you.
I'm wondering if there's speakers in this, and if we just need to swap the audio. So, audio, internal speakers.
Epson.
Swap it to the Epson.
You're the man.
Okay, it's at least playing for now. I don't know if we can.
Where's that coming out of?
Edge is a nationally recognized
Hello.
501c3
Can you hear that better?
charitable organization whose entire platform and premise is to introduce the great lifetime activity to youth and kids everywhere.
Disc golf and kids they do go hand in hand because it's a lifetime activity. It's a sport all on its own, and when we grow the base of a sport in itself as an activity, the sport itself becomes quite a bit bigger. Edge's biggest platform was, one, give the teachers the vehicle to have everything that they need. Two, let's introduce children to a lifetime activity that they can play. Let's get them involved with the PDGA if they want to become an athlete into the sport itself. So getting students and youth into any sport is the best way to grow your sport. It gives our professional athletes a fan base. It also gives our sport the base it needs to support manufacturers and grow it from within.
We all need healthy exercise, and getting outdoors and enjoying the environment and friends are one of the best ways to stay healthy. So it didn't take too long to realize, look, if we want disc golf to be recognized as a professional style sport, we need to introduce disc golf to the youth, get them going, and if nothing else, they've got a healthy game that they can enjoy with their families everywhere they travel throughout the rest of their lives. Edge Disc Golf actually started as a concept 20 years ago right here at the USDGC.
I was actually the high noon tee, and I had the honor of playing with Harold Duvall, the CEO of the East Coast of Innova, and we got talking, and he thought he had this great concept of bringing disc golf into schools. Both Jay and I are educators, and we set forth to starting to write a standardized curriculum, and 20 years later, here we are, still introducing 3+ million students to the game.
The base level of the game, we all start playing with one single disc. So we keep the rules simple. In fact, we use the acronym EDGE. E, etiquette is #1. D, don't get farther than the farthest away player. G, get your lie right. E, every throw counts. We are now in all 50 states. We have distributed over 150,000
lightweight golf discs. The lightweight golf disc is really one of the things that makes Edge Edge. We worked with Dave Dunapace of Innovative Champion Disc, who invented the bevel triangular edge disc, and we created this beautiful all-purpose lightweight 130 grams soft plastic safe. So now as a class set, teachers only have to have one disc. It's easy to keep track of, keep it under control, and everyone is under the same basic learning curve.
Working with the kids really does put it into perspective of how fun that game is. I think when you become a world champion and a professional, sometimes you can lose sight of the beauty that is disc golf. Because disc golf is a game in itself. The game turns into the sport. And when you work with the kids, you're able to see that excitement. It shows you just the impact that you can have when you really get down to that fun level. And it reminds me, when I work with them, why I actually got into the sport. It wasn't for the accolades. It was because of the sheer beauty of the lifetime activity.
All right, that's kind of cool. There's Edge. Let's see. So what we kind of want to talk about today a little bit is how we get you guys activated, involved, in your local communities. Maybe you want to partner with Edge, and we're obviously always looking for partnerships, things like that. So let's talk about first, I think most of you kind of talked to me in the booth, but just in case. So the curriculum is really what makes Edge Edge, right? There's a lot of golf discs, there's a lot of baskets, targets, all kinds of those things. So our curriculum is, as a teacher, I really wanted to create sectionals in there, whether I have got just a simple activity day and 30 kids, or I want to teach disc golf for 2 days, 5 days, 5 weeks. Okay, so a lot of the lessons, I also call it an activity guide. There's tons of beautiful I got 20 minutes and I want to do a game about approaching. There's maybe more technique-oriented type of stuff. We are digitizing our curriculum this year, finally. We have a DVD still, but unfortunately the DVD is incredible because we've got Ken Climo doing 12 times slow-mo from overhead and a lot of good stuff like that. But we're modernizing all of this. And we've actually filmed some of the top juniors in Texas because I've realized that a lot of teachers are using that video to show the kids. And as much as they want to emulate Gannon Burr, the realistic part of that is no. And so let's let them watch their peers that are doing it correctly. And all of a sudden I got that 12-year-old covered, So we found that was something we've learned over the years. And that's one of the things we're also here to help out as an organization. Over 20 years, we have already gone through all the pitfalls and lumps and jumps and have improved things. So we want you guys as experiences to try to be as seamless as possible. So we have put together packages that are already point and shoot type of thing where the value is right there, and it's perfect for a different group, whether you want a small group. Our basic package is $1,800 worth of equipment. It includes our curriculum, 50 of our lightweight golf discs, 4 of our collapsible targets, 50 minis. We have a couple other games, like we include 5 ultimate discs because we want to teach them. We have the USA Ultimate rules. We also have a great game called Disc Lacrosse. Fantastic. It can be done on any space possible. You put one target down on that end, one target down on that end. You create a nice big lacrosse crease. No one goes in the crease. Then you play ultimate all the way down till the team scores if they make the putt. So pretty cool like that. It's simple, but it is a great for a change-up. Maybe disc golf, like we have a rain day. We also have an international game out of Japan called Dodgebee. You can YouTube it. It's incredible. They play it, again, as a national championship with youth. And it's a team-oriented game that's played in a volleyball court. And what I love about it, we had to change it to Edgebee because in the United States, physical education world, Dodge is a 4-letter word, and it's a, non-human targeting in most schools. You guys might have been like me. I mean, I grew up in the era of, all right, kids, we're playing dodgeball, and everybody's like, raw, or they're like, no. And we go into the wrestling room, and, coach has his, Apocalypse Now glasses on, and yeah, not good. We scarred people. But what's great about this game is we play with a soft nylon disc and it's non-exclusionary. So instead of being eliminated and feeling bad about yourself, you actually change roles in the game. You either go from infield to outfield or outfield to infield. Play short games of 4 minutes. 4 minutes, best out of 3. Picture a volleyball court, and then the perimeter, so team A's outer perimeter outfield is around all 3 sides of team B's inner court. Again, a successful attack would be throwing it at a player below the head, but they don't catch it. If they catch it and you're on the infield, you go to the outfield. All right, so it's like that. But an outfielder attacking successfully not only brings that player to their outfield, but you get to come from your outfield in. Sounds confusing, but it's not once you get playing it. And the action is incredible, head on a swivel, 2-line passes, communication. It's great. So anyway, and that comes with it too. So yeah, it's a great package. Edge is celebrating having installed our 300th permanent course on a campus. That's pretty amazing over 20 years. That is absolutely the growing trend right now. The last few years, it's unbelievable how many inquiries we get. And those are bizarre because it's everything from principal says yes, now what do I do? Okay, or rarely do they come with like, I got $10,000 burning a hole in my pocket, so it's all varying on that, but well worth it projects. I'd be glad to help any of you out, refurbishing courses, things like that. Those are all things we can do. If you have what we're also finding is a lot of courses that are there. The phys ed maybe was or teacher was a proponent of disc golf. They're now gone. And all of a sudden that disc golf course sits unused, but potentially somebody else is ready to go with it. We're here for the discs, everything else. Some of you check these out, but go ahead and just check it out and pass it around a little bit. These are the Edge golf discs. You can see what a lightweight 130 gram, that's actually, that disc was named the Skeeter. Then you can buy the Skeeter, but we built that together for Edge, and we do the 130 gram type of discs. But obviously we all learn to play with one single disc. So when you get a club that says like, hey, you want my lost and found? Absolutely we want your lost and found. However, we really want to be picky. We really want to go with the putters, the mid-ranges that aren't all chunked up. No kid wants their first experience throwing a shark that's got, ground up, heavy bottoms. And of course, Firebirds, high-speed drivers, that's all for later. One of the things I guess I talked about with the reason why this disc is so great for a class set, it's one disc you have to keep track of. But even the high schoolers that might have already played and like, can I bring in my whole bag and stuff like that? It's like, well, with the class, we're just going to use these. They're trash, man. I just whip so hard and they just flip right over. It's, well, what these are great for is learning the flip and fly. So once we teach everybody the physics of the disc, then the game, of course, comes alive for all of us. And even the kids that have their own discs, a disc golfer, any of us, with great technique, these fly 300 feet. It doesn't seem like it, but it takes perfect timing, speed control, and release. And so your high schoolers or advanced middle schoolers that already play, when they can learn to flip and fly this 300 feet, when they go back to their 175 Wraith or whatever it is, their game is going to, because now they're throwing a lot farther. They're learning about nose angle, things like that. So we love this disc, but of course you guys are the powerful ones. Your kids and your students. We recommend Edge for 3rd grade through college. Absolutely can kids in 1st, 2nd grade play disc golf, but that's all about absolute behavior management and the teacher knowing the kids, right? So appreciate it, brother. Let's see. Let's go into, this will be good tips for you guys. So when we're teaching the basics, I try to break it down as simple as possible. First, we'll go over this, a safety cue. So again, a lot of what teaching groups of kids is really about behavior management. So, and the teachers, you guys already know this type of stuff. What's up, Chuck? So we're going to boil it down to a really cool cue. I have everybody observe the disc. You know, we learn the control grip. I like to start everybody out with the control grip, thumb, find your gypsy timeline here, you know, and the edge of the rim goes in there. We shake hands with the disc, nice and comfortable, however you want, but we want to concentrate on the index finger on the rim of the disc. So this is the control grip. Obviously, most putters use this like this. Des used to throw 200 feet, approach shots like that. I don't like that, but there's nothing wrong with it, right? But what this does, though, is for throwing, is it kind of just does bring a little less grip lockability or power into the disc so they actually can learn what's going on with this nose angle. So with that simple control grip now, I teach everybody, all right, there's the control grip. Now, you're going to hear me when we're playing an activity or something like that and I need your attention, I'm going to say discs up, you know, because the kids, of course, are like, boo, you know, woo. It's like, nope, when you hear discs up, I want everybody to discs up. Now, all of a sudden, it's a quick view. Everyone's got their discs up in the air. I've got their attention. We can move on. And of course, the first time we do this, I say, now everybody bend your elbow 90 degrees and tap yourself in the head with the rim of the disc. And if you got young kids, it's unanimous. Ooh, that didn't feel good. And that's our teaching moment of saying, yes, these are not toys. These are actually real pieces of sporting equipment. We don't want to get hit with one of these and feel like that. We don't want to hit anybody. Therefore, we never, ever, ever throw the disc with somebody in between you and where you want to be throwing. All right, and it's just kind of establishing that early on is just, you know, obviously super important. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about that's a common pitfall, first thing we have to do is learn to throw the disc flat, right? So in a good athletic stance, knees are bent, shoulder width apart. You know, we're in a good athletic three-point stance. We used to call this the triple threat in Iowa, all wrestlers up there. But from this, all good athletics happen. The power out of the hips and the core. But with this control grip, now what we're going to do is we're going to reach back, we're going to bend the elbow, and then bring it through. So the easy way we talk about that is the ABCs, right? Okay? Away, bend, crush. All right? Away, bend, crush. And the crush part of it is something that kind of helps break people through, or aha, is snapping a towel. You know, of course, we want to accelerate. So it's 1, 2, 3. And we kind of want to get that little towel snap in there. Now, one of the things you're going to notice right off the bat is everybody's first throw, of course, goes up in the air. And most people's first throws, they are bringing the disc out and around their body, rounding the disc. This is super common. But if we teach the A, B, C, the quick, easy, like, oh, it's like, well, no, you don't want to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, and kids just grab that and they're just like, oh, yeah, we don't want the whole alphabet going on here, you know. So it's just like a little cue that, like, for beginners, adults alike, man, they grab that right away. All of a sudden they realize, like, yes, the bend and then the crush. And of course, you can go into later on the advanced stuff with an access point and things like that. But that's the big, huge, you know, forward jump through of getting people to come through the disc throwing with their body and not their arm. Now, of course, you know, getting the disc to throw flat, that's one of the keys as well. So, you know, having the thumb on the top, it's pretty easy to show and feel the roll of that wrist up like that. That does bring the nose down. It doesn't take too long. And they grab onto that. And that's the big first crux of getting the kids to realize that, like, okay, these don't take a lot of, like, it's not muscular, right? You only need two things to be good at disc golf, right? It's timing and technique. And that starts to get people like, okay, so I could be good at this. And, you know, some of those type of things. So I did want to talk that. Let's see. Let's move into, I'll open it up for a quick question. If somebody has something they want to talk about, like kind of, teaching technique-wise. and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, good. Let's see. Let me show you couple quick little videos. These are short and sweet, but they're pretty cool. We've got a great relationship with the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and that's what these are representing. It's called the Community Connect. Why is that not playing? Yeah, it should still be connected. Oh, you know what? Des actually has my phone. That might be what it is. Expected error. Yeah, okay. She grabbed it for the pictures. All right, I'm moving on. Unexpected error. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, okay, that's connected. All right. Let's see. I'm going to talk about the tournament charity program. This is something that you can easily get involved in. I know I talked about one of the ways that you can get involved as far as like if you have some ideas in mind with your local groups. Now, of course, Edge is all youth. So again, 3rd through college. So not only are schools easy because they've already got a structural program, but think about anything youth oriented. So we've got the scouting. We've got boys and girls clubs, incredible targets. We've got, all those youth organizations, the YMCA. You can be as creative as possible there. Parks and recreations. A lot of times you all, as content experts, can get hired for summer programming through your local parks and recreation. So that's a great outlet to actually make a little bit of money coaching and teaching that way. The scouting is a really awesome story. Disc golf has been a part of scouting for a long time. Just when I last did the study in 2019, there were 28 scout camps that had an 18-hole permanent course. Nowadays, that's growing exponentially. The big jamboree spot out in Virginia, they're working on 4, what is it called? Summit Bechtel, that's right. They're working on 4 courses at that camp. So that shows that they're into something big here. We fought a big fight in the PDGA back in 2012. Sorry about that. I don't remember that. But we put a huge effort as an organization into scouting to get recognized. And let's get a patch. All this stuff. Well, scouting's a monstrous, huge group. And so, nope, it's not that easy, y'all. In fact, when we really got into the heart of the head councils and stuff, they really didn't have the bandwidth to add another badge. Like, look how many we've got, 400 badges already. We really don't need another badge. Disc golf can be played, but it's through the all sports badge or, a different other activity badge, where of course we were all like, disc golf. Well, fast forward, we have now reached the radar of like, wow, we cannot deny this is a real deal. However, we're still not really interested in creating a separate badge. But we're going to let you guys in the door through golf. So now the golf merit badge actually can be accomplished through disc golf. So Edge has let the scouts use our curriculum to create the manual for earning that badge. Now includes disc golf. So it's a wonderful situation, and we do have scouts all over, troops all over that are really trying to explore what it takes to get this merit badge. So we're super stoked about that. When you do approach some of these groups, it's even though you are the content expert and you're coming to them with something that you're very passionate about, and a lot of times disc golfers, we can't help it, right? We wear it on our sleeve, man. We want and are excited to tell you about something we love that we really feel that you should be loving too. And that can actually be a little bit off-putting. And so what we want to do is we actually want to find an ally within that group. And nowadays, that's easier than ever. So when we're talking about a school, and I've got a meeting with maybe the principal, I don't really want to, of course I'm going to give them the basics, but I don't really want to be like, I'm jamming at home, with you. I want to find out, can you talk to your staff at the next meeting or send out an email? Can you find out what if your teachers actually were on the ultimate team back in college, or more and more and more? Just put it out there. How many of you have played disc golf? And then kind of start to like, oh yeah, Chuck over there in science, or we're finding even we have a lot of janitorial staff that are implementing disc golf through clubs. It can be anybody. That's what's so cool about it. The principal knows once they find out, okay, yep, I've got an ally. Now all of a sudden, our passion becomes legitimate because their employee has already been through the process. They already know that the teacher, the staff, vetted, quality, trustworthy. Now, let's get that staff member connected to you. You two can enjoy and talk disc golf all day long, and now strategize how that's coming to the club, school, all those things. That's the easiest path forward. I'm not saying the other side doesn't work. It just takes more time. There's a little more resistance. But finding that low-hanging fruit, that person to connect with, that ally, it makes it so much more easy and seamless. So that's a good component there. That's easy to work with folks. Once you find that person, then, the slogan we like to use at Edge is you guys set them up and Edge will knock them down. We know how to talk about the equipment, the curriculum, all of those things. So we want to empower the school or club or whoever it is that you all want to work with by finding out the pathway forward for all the equipment that they need. We have good grants available. There's a lot of different resources to help whatever it is. A lot of times it's filling in the gaps. We found that just giving out free equipment, it feels great, but at the end of the day, it's not the best strategy because free stuff is treated like free stuff, and there's not really an accountability side of that. But no matter what it is, maybe it's $1,000 package that the principal only has to write a check for like $100 for. All of a sudden, there's skin in the game. Now that principal wants to find out his $100. When are you doing disc golf? Are you taking care of the equipment? Do we have it on the schedule? What can I do for you to promote it? All these things. It just opens up such a huge world, even though it doesn't seem like it might. It's counterintuitive. So we have a tournament charity program that's been incredibly successful. Got to give props to our huge sponsors. The PDGA is very supportive of youth and education right now. Could they be doing more? Everybody together? Heck yes, absolutely. Had a good meeting with the current executive director yesterday. He also is recognizing this. We're working on pathways forward. The membership demands it. The last time we did a full PDGA membership survey, the number one thing that came back that they want PDGA to do is grow the game with youth and education. And since that survey was done, I have to say, they've made baby steps. We could be making large steps, especially with organizations like Edge, UPlay, Paul Macbeth Foundation, Ricky Wasaki Foundation. We have groups that are doing it. NIFA already has a grant program. You guys probably in your local club have some kind of youth outreach thing. Edge wants to partner with your clubs. This tournament charity program is for you and the ability to bring funding right into the projects that you guys want to get going. So the tournament charity program works simply by taking an existing event, PDGA or not. Last year we worked with 250 events. 90% of them were PDGA events. So these clubs take an event and they're like, how do we partner with Edge? Well, all you have to do is decide on how you'd like to make a contribution. And we don't put any parameters on that. The easiest pathway is adding $2, $5, $10. If it's a charity event, maybe larger, but just an extra $2 on a C tier, B tier, on a state tour. The Vermont State Tour does $2 per head. They donated $3,500 last year on behalf of Vermont. That money all stays in Vermont. And what we've done with that over the years is now, and it's what's really cool is when you have a good promoter or a good club person that's reporting back to the players, okay, I know y'all feel like it's a tax, $2 per head, where does that go on top of your PDGA, your admin fee, your course fee? I get it. But the cool thing is that Edge provides numbers for you all, and you can come back and say like, yeah, Edge on Vermont Tour's behalf gave out 4 grants. One of them put in a 9-hole course in Waterbury at something middle school. That feels good. That's the players that aren't even really too much interested going like, wow, my $2 helped do that. It's a positivity. And we take this program one step further. So whatever it is, Edge will let you use our 501c3 determination letter, which is our nonprofit. Some of your clubs are nonprofit as well. But when you have an event and you give enough time, so many businesses tend to give more sponsorship and higher quality sponsorship when your event is just attached to a charity. So I know in Texas, our huge grocery chain, H-E-B, if you turn in your paperwork at least a month ahead of time, $250 gift card for the grocery store. And so we have tournaments take that, buy some briskets and some tortilla shells, and all of a sudden we just raised $500 to $800 based on lunch and just donations. And no one has to leave, and it's a good thing like that. But sky's the limit. Auction items, things like that, drawings. We don't really we really don't push drawings, and you notice I'm saying drawings and not raffle. Raffle is a code for something's going on over there. Drawing is it can be door prizes and stuff. And most drawings and things like that are very simple, but a lot of states actually consider those gambling. So you have to kind of be careful about that a little bit. Some of them, are regulatory. Most of them are not. But if you're cool with doing those, then we're cool with supporting them. And what the Edge TCP does is with a pledge level, we have every year our group of great sponsors will allow us to give CFR fundraising discs. We have discs produced at the U.S. Championship every year. The champions sign them right hot off the course. So like, today we're going to give away fantastic. The disc itself is a Glow Nova, which is out of production and collectible, but it also has Chris Dickerson winning his first and only major, and Paige Pierce winning the Throw Pink championship. So it's kind of a cool disc. And you can, if you don't do a drawing and your players put in $2 a head or whatever, then let's just give it away for like an Edge CTP that's available to everybody playing the tournament. Grip equipment, given bags, Zuka carts. We've got some big items and things that make fundraising easy, things like that. So that's the tournament charity program. If that's something you think that you want to get involved in or could pass it on to somebody else, please pass this on. Grab one of these before you go and pass them on. We've got a full tournament charity review right here with the top 10 of all of our great partners. And then we also have here, we just came out with our 2024 impact that Edge had on the year. I'll just go over them real quick because it's pretty awesome. In 2024, Edge installed its 300th permanent campus course. I said that. This year alone, we've distributed 7,054 lightweight golf discs in the kids' hands. $49,000 were awarded in 85 different grants to 32 different states. Pretty good net there. And then when we take all of the kids, when we qualify, basically what happens if you contact Edge as a prospect, and again, you set them up, we knock them down. If you give somebody the information or just send them to the website and tell them to just ding us, it comes through. We read, okay, what put a little baby description, what you're after or who you are. We return then attach a staff member to it. They return a simple 8-question that they can fill out, and it's more like contact information. How many kids are you teaching per class? What's your largest class? How many kids do you think will be impacted by disc golf at your school this year with this program? Different other qualifying questions that basically we take, and then we look at their budget and things like that, and then we make a recommendation, and then we start to find out how we can add more funding to that to make it a reality. And that's kind of what we do when somebody comes our way. But through that process, then we can firmly say that Edge through everybody else, right? We empowered everybody to introduce disc golf to 55,000 kids last year. So that's pretty cool. Here's our sponsors. I'll go through them because it's important. Innova Champion, PDGA, Disc Golf Pro Tour, United States Disc Golf Championship from the beginning. Discraft, Prodigy, we want to get more. Dave McCormick Gateway says, let's go. MVP already does a ton of stuff. We want to get with those folks as well and bring them in. Infinite Disc, Zuka, Grip Equipment, Good Dog Disc Golf out of Austin. So tons of assistance on that end. Anybody have a question about the tournament charity program? Want to kind of talk about that? I kind of drilled it pretty good. All right, solid. Who's got a time check for me since I guess my... All right, sweet, man. I feel like that's a pretty good sesh. You guys got any... Awesome. Anybody have any other questions or something we can nail before I give away some stuff? If you came in and didn't get a raffle ticket, now's your chance because we're going to give away some cool stuff. So let's get that squared away real quick.